when he finally pushed it back a final time, I just woke up one day and I said, I have to open. My stylists are calling me. They're not making their mortgage. I was at right now, I still am not caught up. I'm 2 months behind on my mortgage. And I just decided I would open to create a safe place for the stylists and to make sure that I wasn't the reason they weren't making money.
Well, that was Dallas salon owner Shelley Luther on Hannity last night after she was released from jail. Luther was arrested for reopening her salon amid Texas lockdown orders. She maintains that it was for the well-being of her family and her staff, and so that she could make enough money to feed her own children. Joining us now is Luther's attorney, Warren Norrid. Warren, thanks for being here this morning. So first describe to us, because you had multiple cases like Shelley's before you. Hers became more high profile. But tell us about when she came to you and said, I've got to open my doors. I need to feed my kids.
Well, she came to me through some other people and said, I'm in this dire straits and we have to, the executive orders don't say I don't have to pay my bills. They just say I don't have any income. And so I said, well, if you want to do this, you realize there may be repercussions. You can actually go to jail. You know, and so she said, I'm willing to take that risk. We have to do something. And so that's where we started going that path. And so that's why her case became more widely known. The other plaintiffs are either staying, operating in the dark or not opening. It took a brave person to stand up and say, no, it's time to take action.
I want to talk more about that in just a second, but we had Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick from the state of Texas on our program earlier, talking about the potential fallout for the judge in this case. Listen.
We have to look at this judge on a number of levels. Was there any judicial misconduct? That can be looked at. Number two, he is on the ballot in November. He may have forgotten. And for Shelley, I hope it puts it behind her. Look, I've never met the judge. I've never met Shelley. I've never talked to Shelley. I got involved, as did the Attorney General and the Governor, just because we saw this as a giant overreach.
Is Shelley considering any further legal action, Warren?
Well, sure. We're going to have counterclaims against the city. Those haven't been filed because we've been busy making sure that she got out of jail. We believe that the temporary restraining order on which the contempt order was based was not valid, so we're fighting that. So it's potentially an unlawful arrest to begin with. Judges are protected. I've been in this courtroom many times. I respect the judge. We disagree on a number of issues, obviously, but he's the judge and I'm not. And so we're just doing what we're supposed to do. And so the judge issued his order. We filed our writ for an application of writ of habeas corpus. Mm-hmm. It's really old law, goes all the way back to the King's Bench in England. And so, and it all worked out, at least in the short term. This battle is not over at all.
Got it. The president has brand new reaction. He was on Fox News earlier this morning and responded to Shelley's release. Here's the president.
She's an incredible representative for a large group of people that want to do the same thing. They want to get back to work. These people want to get back to work. We know everybody's done what they have done, and you can only do that so long.
It raises a bigger question, too, and I'll get your answer to it, about the precedent that this particular case might set. I know you represent others, but right. The broader question in a pandemic like this, when someone's told to leave the salon doors closed, and she says, I can't feed my kids, at what point does an individual have the right to disregard laws or orders that are in place because they decide that this is not right for their family or that they cannot feed their children?
It's a great question, and it's one of the most important questions. In this country and in this state, we use the legislature to pass laws. And so when you start going into a situation where there's an emergency and the executive starts issuing rules that look and smell like laws, but they're really not laws. So you lose the nuance of how you properly put together a law, and you have to make these changes along the way. We would not have filed this lawsuit or opened. Shelley didn't open the first day or this first week. She closed like everybody else did. But after a period of time, you recognize that things have to get more rational. They can't just be, okay, we're going to let the daycares do whatever they want. We're going to let the liquor stores operate with that restriction. We're going to allow all these other people to operate. But you got salons, stylists all have 1,500 hours of training, much of it on hygiene and taking care of their clients. So when people say, well, it's just a haircut, it's not about a haircut. It's about the people who are doing the haircuts earning a living. And at some point, these rules have to recognize that, okay, they're really not that dangerous. We're balancing dangers here. And we can't just simply say, all of you people just have to take the sacrifice where everybody else gets to keep their job. It is not lost on anybody that everybody in that courtroom was making money to be there except my client.
It is a fascinating story. It has captivated the nation as we all go through this together. Warren, appreciate your time this morning. Keep us posted. I know you just told us this is not over yet, so we'd like to follow up with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.